Perfect.
So it's live video starting. We're now live. This is perfect. Hey, what's up, Devin? Dude, welcome to the pod. Super nice to have you here.
Yes, for sure. Thank you.
If you want to take a second just to kind of introduce yourself and what you're all about, and then we can kind of jump right in.
Yeah, so my name is Devin Shaw. I'm based out of Houston, Texas. Usually it's hot and sunny. Right now it's like extra gloomy outside, but
oh, dude, that sucks. You know, that's true. Actually, I was speaking to somebody else who was in Texas, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's snowing now." I'm like,
yeah, and Dallas is snowing right now. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, so I am a owner of a company called Ninja Automations. Technically, I have a Ninja Corporation. I got a bunch of companies out of that adage, but Ninja Automations is my SaaS company. We're a little over a year old now, so probably about a year and 3 months or so. So not that old of a company at all. And what we do is we help credit card companies with their software. So we help them build funnels, websites, automations for appointments, contract signing, collecting payments, payment reminders, disputing, literally any piece of credit repair. We are aiming to help them out from A to Z. So that is our main thing that we do for credit repair companies.
Okay, cool. And what were you doing before you launched the SaaS company?
So I have a huge marketing background. So I actually was a digital marketer, did the whole SMMA. So during that whole craze where everyone was going after dentists for Facebook ads, yeah, I was part of that group. So basically digital marketing, Facebook ads, stuff like that.
Oh, okay. And I think I read somewhere that you had your own CRO company. Did you have a CRO company before you started the SaaS, or did you have a SaaS then start a CRO company, or how did that work?
Yeah, so I actually had the CRO company first. So funny story. So during my digital marketing days,
by the way, I just want to pause you for 1 second. CRO stands for Credit Repair Organization, correct?
Yes.
Just for everyone listening who maybe doesn't know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yeah, no, correct. Good job doing that, because to me, my brain instantly
you have credit repair brain. So
yeah, but yeah, so it's actually kind of funny. So story is, when I was doing digital marketing, it was kind of like before Go High Level, because I've been doing it for 8+ years. So it was always, we were using all these different systems, and like we'd have like 8 different systems running per company. Became a huge headache with passwords and everything else. And I was always like, man, I wish there was like an all-in-one system. Went from digital marketing to actually doing credit repair, just because credit repair seemed easy. I don't know why it seemed easy, but reaching out to folks and saying like, hey, I can fix your credit, I can help you out.
Really solving a big problem too, by the way. Like,
yeah, a huge problem.
Massive problem.
Buying houses, cars, refinancing, whatever it may be, you need your credit right. So switched to credit repair. And that was actually the time that I found out about Go High Level. So at that point, my brain just like clicked. It was like, dude, this does everything. I'm coming from this selling business to business. Let me help out credit repair companies with their software needs. And that's what really got me into Go High Level. Then after like 3 months, it finally clicked of like what all can be done. And that's when I just started building slowly.
And so you said that you started back, would this be 2021 then?
Yeah, about like late 2021.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so SaaS mode was a thing by that time, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, so SaaS mode was a thing, but I had no clue what SaaS was. So I had no clue what SaaS was. I barely knew, like, I knew tech, but like Go High Level it can be intimidating when you first start. It's a lot of stuff. So so it was kind of just like learning as I go, meeting people, jumping on calls, Zoom calls, and learning as I go. And I really didn't get into SaaS mode till probably April of 2022, April or May 2022.
Okay. So Ninja Automations was a thing since late 2021, and maybe you were just doing some consulting for people, but you weren't really going all out and reselling.
No, I was just basically, they were getting their own Go High Level accounts, and I was just doing builds and I was like connecting the dots for them. So like they would have like Calendly, and I wasn't confident all the way, so I would connect Calendly with something in Go High Level. And
oh God.
But, no, it wasn't good at all. But it got me in that like mode of like, okay, I like
All
to
that
do,
matters is that you got started. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's what I see like with a lot of people is that they kind of they want to have like kind of this perfect setup right
Mhm.
before they get started. And I can't really emphasize enough, like in my personal life or in my personal career and in all these people that I've talked to, like it sounds like the biggest thing is like you're not going to be a master of high level the
Yeah,
day that you start. You need to kind of just get started, right? And as you get started, you have this kind of momentum that you build.
exactly.
And then as you're now making money from this thing, now you're more incentivized to learn more and more of it. And also you're going to encounter problems that's going to force you to learn it so that you can fix it for your clients, right? But yeah, I do think the biggest thing is really getting started. And if that's through, selling high level SaaS to a few companies, or to a few local businesses or whatever, as you are kind of getting to know it, tweaking it for them and figuring it out. I think that there's no better way to get started and to really learn something than to be making money and have people who are relying on you to figure it out.
Yeah,
So
100%.
get started even if it's not perfect. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And so, how big is your team now?
So we're actually pretty slim. So myself, of course, and then I have four others. So three on the day-to-day customer service. They're kind of like coaches. So basically we split our customers and underneath coaches, and our coaches are there to help them out in anything in their Go High Level account. Because these guys are paying monthly, and if they don't understand the system, they're not going to pay the bill. So that was like a really big push. And I might be kind of like skipping ahead actually, because it took me a while to get to that point. but that's what I'm starting to realize is you really have to have that quick where it clicks, with that knowledge base.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, actually, I think I also skipped ahead a tiny bit as well. Um, what was like the moment? So obviously, going back to what we were saying a second ago, you started by building people's stuff out in their own go high level accounts and kind of connecting the dots for them. But what was like the moment that you realized that like high level SaaS is like the deal? Like, okay, I need to start like reselling this thing underneath my own account. Was there like a particular eureka moment for you?
Well, so the moment was, I think I had like 15 credit repair companies underneath me, or 15 CROs underneath me. And these CROs were using a company called Credit Repair Cloud. So it's another software, and they were having constant headaches. They were like, man, this thing's breaking, this thing, my website's going down, this is happening, this is happening. And I was like, wait a second, all this can be built into Go High Level. I love Go High Level. You 15 love Go High Level. Let me figure out Go High Level. And
Okay.
that's when I started investing in a lot of individuals that sell courses for Go High Level. I know you mentioned Matt. He was one of them.
Mhm.
So Matt, Christina Sill,
Yeah.
and one or two others. I basically just invested like a few $1,000s and just learned what I'm actually using. Uh, so
And-
like,
Mhm.
yeah, the moment just came from people's like failures, like their complaints, and just like, okay, I need to fix this now.
Yeah. And did you feel like those courses were a good investment for you?
I do. I do. And in that moment, definitely if someone's listening to this right now and you're just getting started, 100%, I do believe it. Now, of course, as you learn more and more, there's more advanced courses out there and concepts and everything else, but definitely for getting started and trying to get that instant boost, yes.
Okay, cool. And so did you do that before you started the SaaS, or did you get customers and then after you had a few customers, you're like, all right, how do I freaking scale this thing? And did
So I already had a few customers. So I had a few customers. I thought I understood SaaS mode, but I was getting billed more than I was charging. And this is only like rebilling, and I'm just like, okay, math ain't math in here. Like you
This
paid
ain't
me
working
90,
out.
yeah, you paid me 97. I'm paying out 150. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. And that's when I was learning about Twilio. I knew nothing about Twilio before this. So
Yeah,
Twilio, Mailgun, like two big ones. So
yeah, for
uh,
real.
without knowing about it, people were just sending mass emails or mass text, and I was the one footing the bill.
Oh man.
So
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. So can you tell us like a little bit about the product and like kind of its functions in terms of the snapshot?
Yeah. So what the product is basically helping a credit repair company take a client from the very beginning to the very end. The very beginning is someone comes to them and they say, "Hey, I'm interested in getting my credit fixed." Most CROs stopped there because they're just pen and paper. Like, okay, hey, what's your name? What's your number? Sure, I'll call you at 8 a.m. And that's where most of the headache started. So what we do is we basically have the full setup where it's a funnel in the beginning. We collect that information. In credit repair, you need credit monitoring. So we help them collect that information as well. And then they book the call. After booking the call, they go through their sales piece. From there, then there's like an actual client onboarding where they sign their contracts, all the agreements, all that type of stuff. They submit any final documents, driver's license, utility bills, stuff like that, and then pay for their service. So what the snapshot does is basically help a credit repair company automate that entire process instantly. There's nothing for them to figure out. We provide everything to them right then and there. And within 30 minutes, they can have a fully automated company.
Wow, that is really awesome. Do you have like any additional bolt-on things or pieces of software that kind of work with it, or is it just like this high-level product?
So we work with a lot of industry leaders that have other softwares. I'll throw out a name. It's called Dispute Panda, which is actually how you do the disputes on someone's credit. So we are partnered with them, one of the few that are partnered with them. And we have a direct API integration. So once someone goes to a paid client, that info just instantly shoots over to their software, and then they can do the whole disputes and all that. So we have a lot of industry specific softwares bolted on to Ninja pretty much.
Okay, cool. And is it one of those types of deals where you have like a bulk deal with those like integration partners, or do your customers have to get their own accounts?
No, so we have pretty much a setup that creates their user accounts and all that. So when they onboard with us, our goal is to be like, hey, this is the correct path. Like, this is the path of the top 5 credit repair companies in the nation. Follow this path. forget what you're doing before with the pen and paper,
Yeah.
the Calendly, like this,
Yeah.
this. Like, here's the path. Do the onboarding, takes like 20 minutes. Our team does the internal work, building it all out for you. 30 minutes worth of training, and now you're set. You're good to go.
Okay. I have a question that I think will be insightful for some people who are kind of new to SaaS, which is obviously, so you've now built this amazing, snapshot and product. And my question to you is, did you model it after somebody like someone that you knew's business, or like is this after just like what you were doing in your own business? And if so, how did you like figure out the best way to do something? Did you experiment a lot with it, or how did that work? I know that's
So it's a good question. And one thing I'll say is, I don't think you ever have it perfect. So you were spot on earlier with never wait till it's perfect. Because it's like done is never perfect or something like that's the quote. And it's true, because I'm changing the snapshot like today. So
okay.
with it, it was literally something where I built it. So I built when my mind was perfect, went to my initial folks I had and said, hey, look, this is what I have. Check it out. And from there was a lot of input. As I started getting a few bigger players in the game, seeing their sales process, like confirming an appointment before it actually books the appointment. So when someone books on our calendars, it shoots them a text saying, reply confirm to confirm your appointment. Like, those pieces I didn't have until like 6-7 months in to my journey. But like now that's like a huge integral part of the software. So there's a lot of stuff that over time, it just always changes based off input. And if it's like that aha moment of like, yeah, that does actually make sense, then I make that change and so on.
So this is this is that kind of a little piece of gold here. You started out with your best concept of what a good system was.
Mhm.
and then you went to the market, and then the market told you what it
Yeah,
what
exactly. Yeah, the market was like, yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead
you
and
like this, this
yeah,
seems better over here, and that's actually the best way to do it,
yeah,
right? And um, people lose sight of the importance of customer feedback when it
mhm,
comes to their builds. But if you just get started, you just build the best thing that you're capable of building with the knowledge that you have, right? And your customers will tell you what they want from there on out.
yeah,
That's great. So how would you say, like, is your snapshot now like just completely different from what you started off with, or is it like
100%.
mostly the same, or?
100. I mean, I guess the bones is the same, but the look and the feel and yeah, how smooth it works right now, where I know when if someone were to sign up today, they'd be good to go today. Whereas before, there might be a few broken ends. like there might be a few like, hey, I'm trying to do this. And I'm like, oh, wait, my bad. You know what?
We all been there.
Yeah, that's on me. Let me go ahead and fix this for you. And then I'm gonna try to fix my snapshot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now it's smooth. It's a real smooth experience.
that is awesome. And what methods did you use to kind of initially blow it up at the initial stages? Let's talk about that.
Well, so with growth, one of my biggest keys and like my secret is you have to have a community. Seems really simple. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, I have a community. But if people don't have the know, like, and trust, it's really hard for them to sign up, especially if you don't have a free trial. So I started a Facebook group around the same time. So I had a Facebook group. It was based on like marketing, stuff like that, lead generation.
Yeah.
And I just went live in there pretty much every other day, just really showing my face, building up that know, like, and trust, giving a lot of stuff away for free so that once my 15 originals of my SaaS product at the time said like, hey, this is good, I like it. When I rolled it out to my Facebook group,
Okay.
yeah,
So
that's
you're
when,
saying that you dug your well before you were thirsty.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, cool. That
yeah.
that
So,
that's awesome. So you said that you started it out as kind of just it wasn't niche oriented towards CROs at the time when you first started it, or did you
yeah,
pivot?
so it was, yeah. So the whole time I always knew I wanted it for CROs. I knew other industries, but yeah, that was like the main focus for sure.
Okay. And what obviously you said that you were going live in the group every other day, you were giving some goodies. Like, do you have like, I don't know, any tips for people who also want to build communities in a similar way, want to take this approach? How should they be structuring the content? There's live streams. What do you talk about in these live streams? So that maybe people who are watching can apply these same types of principles in their own niche.
Yeah, well, so from my marketing background, one thing I always say is find the blue ocean. So let's just say if I want to sell a roof for a snapshot, for example. Don't do exactly what everyone else is doing. Like find some clean water somewhere. So if I were to like do it all over again, like everyone always says, create a Facebook group, find where these roofers are, like what groups are they in, what is it, whatever it is, add them as Facebook friends, provide valuable content on your personal profile. So like, hey, are you a roofer? And here you are writing your notes on paper, da, da, da. Here's an app where you can download an app, Lead Connector, and it can process all this data. It can take your customers down this journey, so on and so forth. And these roofers are going to keep seeing it over and over and over. And at that point, that's when you start promoting your Facebook group, grow your Facebook group. And then with my lives, all I was doing was just relevant content. Or as I was figuring out things in Go High Level, I would basically mention it there, like, hey guys, look at this cool thing with the calendar. When someone books, it shoots them a text. Look. And everyone's like, ooh, it did shoot a text. Yeah. And I type confirm and then Go High Level. It moved over to the next pipeline stage. And people would love that stuff. And like, that's all I would do is like, as I'm doing developments or as I'm building an ebook funnel or, hey, let me show you how I can build a website in 20 minutes. And that's what I was just showing people. It was like software. So that when I promoted the software at that point, they were already bought in. They were like, I need to get this. This is way easier than what I'm doing now.
Whoa, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that so like how long were you doing those lives and all this different stuff where you were going over like how to do really cool stuff that they found useful, that they would find useful for their particular CRO business? How long were you doing that before you launched? Was this part of a launch sequence, or was it just like for X amount of months, or how long were you doing that?
Yeah, so it was part of a launch sequence. So I had a feeling, I didn't have any real data to back this, but I had a feeling that after about 30 days, I could slowly start introducing my software, and it didn't feel salesy. Like it was like, hey, I've been giving away all this for free, but you haven't been able to build it because you're not in Go High Level, you're not in Ninja. So after about 30 days, then it was like, hey, if you guys like what I'm doing, I've done all these videos at this point, 15 plus videos. Here's the software to do it. And at the time, I think I was doing a true free 30-day trial. So a lot of folks signed up just to like see. They're like, let me just see what it is. Yeah, so I got a bunch of signups after like that 30-day cycle. And then it was just simply continue building on that. So if 20 people signed up, I'm going live like, oh my God, my company just doubled, you know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah,
everyone's an entrepreneur, so they love it. They love the journey. They buy into you, and when they buy into you, they buy your stuff. So
that's really awesome. And so you started out with doing this Facebook group. Are you doing anything else now that you've kind of matured as a company? And I don't even, actually, I don't even know if we even mentioned this. You have over 360 users right now. I don't even
yes,
think we mentioned that at the very beginning,
no,
but we didn't. But man, that sucks. Anyway, so now that you've kind of grown to this size, are you doing anything else other than just kind of, growing that group and kind of milking that? Or do you
yeah,
have Facebook ads going or anything like that?
it's actually funny. So the entire life to this point, I've only done the Facebook group. I do have now an ad team that will be starting Facebook ads here in the next probably 14 days or so.
Okay,
Uh,
cool.
and also plan on implementing a pretty aggressive affiliate offer too, just because I have a ClickFunnels background. So like the ClickFunnels piece is like affiliates, like they really pay their affiliates well, and that's how they grow. So I'll be doing heavy affiliates, heavy Facebook ads.
Wow. It's kind of funny that I caught you right here, right before you're about to start all that stuff. There's like a lot of people, what they recommend is just go really hard on one channel. You know what I mean? Until you grow it to a certain size, right? And once you are just bathing in cash and you're taking a 60-day retirement,
Yeah.
he got done with the 2-month retirement, guys. Then he came back.
Yeah.
But once you're at that point, then you can start diversifying into other channels. But a problem that a lot of people have is they want to do 5 channels up front, which is more than they can operationally manage, and then it causes them problems.
Exactly.
When I've spoken to people, and I've spoken to a lot of SaaS owners, because obviously I have this podcast and stuff, they have one method that they use up front, right? And then maybe even later, maybe they never even expanded to anything else. For instance, the CEO of Aria Reply, he basically just does word of mouth now. It's just all word of mouth. He did start off with YouTube ads, but then it just got to the point where it just caught flame in the entire community, and then he just never had to run ads ever again. Gets like 30 signups a day. So, I think that is kind of a common problem for people. They kind of just diversify too much. It's like, remember that what's going to make you win is having an awesome product. You know what I mean? And you don't want to spread yourself too thin, hitting every single like way of reaching out to your audience. So,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah, and I also feel like, from my personal experience in this Facebook group that I have, I've felt like, dude, having a community is really awesome, and it seems to be like the best way to get people to like know you, like you, and trust you, and then eventually, like, if they have a need that you're solving with a product, they'll buy from you, right? Because they know you. It's not just a cold ad. And that's another thing to consider, is that because you are going live so often, or because you were going live, I don't know if you're still doing that, you are building trust with your community. But if you put a Facebook ad out or you cold DM somebody, they don't know you. I mean, and so the people who are coming in from the Facebook group have such a higher level of trust with you, for you, than the people who are going to come in through these different cold methods. So
Yeah.
that's one thing to consider as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I know Facebook ads is like a big thing. I see it in the high level group all the time. Like, hey, I'm about to become a SaaS owner. I'm gonna run $50, $100 a day in ads. And I'm like, okay, if this is your start, that's gonna be tough. Whereas if you find a niche, get the Facebook group, build it up, build that confidence, actually know what they need. That's a big thing because us as business people, we think we know what someone needs, but you never know until you get enough folks in there and they're like, no, we don't want that funnel at all. Or no, we actually don't do that flow. I don't know why you built it. That's how you figure things out. And then at that point, like I said, now I'll be doing Facebook ads. Like after, like I said, a year plus, I'm gonna finally start doing Facebook ads and finally put together like an affiliate piece, and stuff like that.
Yeah, affiliates is another great one, because then now you're leveraging somebody whose audience also has trust in them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like either way, it's going to be a little bit more effective than just going to cold ads.
Oh sure. Yeah, no, 100%.
Okay, cool. So right now, in terms of your kind of pricing model, you have like $1 upfront for 30 days as a trial,
right?
Which is great because now you have your credit card on file.
Okay? Yes.
And then after that 30-day trial, then you start them on a $97 per month subscription. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And then so the dollar does a few things, because remember I learned my lesson about Twilio and Mailgun. So now with $1, I can at least charge you for your Twilio and I can charge you for your Mailgun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I learned early on, like, wait a second, the math ain't math in here. So
it ain't working.
Yeah. So that's what
idea.
Yeah, so we do $1 so we get the Twilio. And with that, we actually do pretty decent. Like if people are texting enough, like sometimes that beats the 97. So
you're doing a markup on
so doing the markup. Yeah.
What multiple of markup are you using?
So we're doing I think it's like 2.3.
Okay.
Yeah, no exact rhyme or reason on the 2.3. It's probably I just clicked and drugged it
there.
Yeah, and then it was like, all right, cool. Yeah, I was like, it's fine there. So yeah, we actually do pretty good on that. And then plus the email, because we do have some folks that have big lists. I mean, they're sending out 5,000, 6,000 texts. So
do you ever get anybody complaining about the costs, the markups? I think that'd be like the only thing that would make me kind of be hesitant upon or hesitant to go ahead and do a multiple markup for Twilio or Mailgun. Is I guess I would be afraid that people would start like roasting me and be like, dude, I know what Twilio costs. Do you ever like run into that or anything?
The funny thing is I had that fear. It's never happened. Knock on wood. It's never happened. And it's been at least 4 months at 2.3. So
okay. Nice, dude.
Yeah, that's so it's been perfectly fine. Because that's just kind of like the cost everyone knows. So if that's just the cost, that's the cost. And just kind of go from there. No, I mean, maybe one day I'll get the mathematician pretty much. And he might punch the numbers and be like, he might be like, wait a second, something's not adding up here. But no, until then, no, we're good.
Okay, cool. And so then it sounds like you're driving everyone to this funnel that you have. Yes. Charging $1 up front and getting everyone on demos. Do they have the ability to go straight to the 97? Or do they just,
they don't. Yeah, so it's straight to the $1. And kind of, I can even tell you like a little bit of evolution of like how we got to this.
I would absolutely love to hear that.
Yeah, because so at first what we were doing, people were signing for the $1 and they were on their own. Like you sign for the $1, I provide you some training videos that I shot. And it was like, if you watch them, you'll watch them. If you don't, you don't. And we were getting tons of people falling off. When they fell off, they never came back because they were like, well, I already gave it a shot. I didn't like it. So we went to our virtual assistants then, which we call our coaches, trying to help them out, but then they became overwhelmed. They were like, dude, we're getting 100 people a week that sign up for this $1 trial and then they don't convert. So then we just have all these folks we've been talking to and it doesn't go past that. So we did that for like 4 months, and the model that we're at now, and I can say this because, and if someone's watching this and they want to build it, this is by far the best it's been, is we have someone on the front end that's in our Facebook group. So if someone's interested, they reach out, hey, here's the link to sign up and start with a $1 trial. They start, that person that introduced them to the software holds their hand for 15 days. They basically ensure they're watching the videos, they're setting up their account. We're there. We're like, hey, we're trying to save you money. Like, we don't want you to keep paying these other companies 200 here, 97 here, 300 here. Like, we want to save you money. That's why we're so focused on helping you.
Okay.
And at the 15-day mark, our coaches now have a handover. So basically, we have like our front end person that then hands this client to our coach, because our coach is the one that then gets on a call with them. And now is like, hey, look, your account's set up, everything's here. Let's get your leads loaded. Let's get this done. Let's get this done. Let's get you fully integrated. We're going to get you so integrated. We're going to get your website. We're going to get your funnels, your domain, that in 15 days, you're not going to leave. You know what I mean? Like, you've already gone too far. Like, at this point, you've already invested time, which is very valuable, and everything else into this. So after 15 days, that coaches basically make sure they're fully integrated. And then when that first 97 hits, it's perfectly fine. Like, they're part of the family at that point.
So what do you see as like the retention rate from the trials?
So with this new model, it's over 65%.
That is amazing.
It's insane how high the retention rate is. And it's really, anyone that actually follows our path stays on. It's 65 because most people just sign up, and you can reach out to them via text. They'll never text you back. They'll never email you back. They just basically pay the $1, and then the 97 hits and it fails. So
what's really cool is like, first of all, I'm assuming that in the Facebook group or something, you're having them do a comment ladder, right? Like, hey, if you want this, go ahead and comment below. And then you have like some sales reps or something on the side who are, PMing all the people who comment, and then getting them to sign up for the trial, and then maintaining conversation with them through that means. And that's really cool, because what it's doing effectively is it's maintaining the frame of the trust that they have in the group, right? And with your personal brand, right? Because they're keeping it on Facebook, and it's related to interaction that's happening there. What happens a lot, or at least in my experience, is like you go to someone's page, you sign up for their software, right? And then that's like it's totally divorced from this previous brand and experience, you know? And so you kind of like don't really care if you cancel a trial over here, because it's not related to all the trust and all the community that you have over here, right? So the cool thing is you're keeping it all in one place, which I think is really cool, and obviously has been working very well. Throughout those 15 days, what types of things do they do? Are they answering questions? Are they acting as their personal support rep?
Yes, it's really like a personal support rep. And we also add them to a Discord channel, which is just like Slack. So we add them to a Discord channel. It has my full team in there. So like instantly, these CROs that might be new business owners or whatever get a taste of like the future, pretty much. Like, hey, look, like you can have a full team at your side as long as you sign up for $97. Because if you cancel your trial or whatever it may be, you get kicked out of Discord. But if you stay with us, you get this full team. We're helping you with everything. We've now added WordPress websites. So we build WordPress websites, digital stores, and a bunch of other stuff. Like pretty much anything they need, someone on my team specializes in that. And we can help build that. And we have different upcharges and stuff like that. That's how we make probably more of our money is in the upcharges after the fact, after the sign up.
That was my next question, bro. What kind of upsells do you have? Are you offering marketing services? Are you acting as an agency in any way? Or is it just the SaaS and add-ons to the SaaS? Or how's this working?
Yeah, so this call's at a perfect time, because I'm gonna give you the behind the scenes. And if you look at my Facebook group, you'll be like, oh, okay, now you see it playing out. So I've now partnered with about 3 or 4 industry leaders. One that is known for websites, one that's known for Facebook ads, one for organic. So like that whole Facebook group setup, like I just mentioned, and then another with the actual disputing. So like actually helping you with your clients. So these individuals are going to be part of my upsell packages. So like when someone's in the 97, at this point, these people, they're like family. I mean, if they were close, they'd probably be sending us plates of food. We literally have the best atmosphere possible. And At that point, once they're in, their next thing is like, dude, my website's with Credit Repair Cloud and it sucks. Okay, hey, so and so is here. They build WordPress websites. Here's 50 websites they built. It's like this huge, overwhelming number, right? And they're like, I want this. How much is it? Boom, there's an upsell for that. So we do charge for websites. We do charge for Facebook ads because we have guarantees. So we are like an agency. We charge if we want to dispute for their clients. So the clients they're getting into the system, we're like, hey, we can integrate our outsourcer, and all you have to worry about is getting the clients in. You know what? Actually, don't even worry about that because I got my Facebook guy here. So he'll get the clients in, you close the deals, and my outsourcer will take care of the clients from there. We do the communications, the disputes, everything.
That's amazing. And so what you're doing is you found places where you could be providing additional value to your customers. But instead of going and trying to reinvent the wheel and building it all yourself, you've aligned yourself with strategic partners that you can go ahead and work with, which I think is really smart because, I mean, there's only so many balls that you can juggle, right? If you're doing the outsource, or not the outsourcing, but if you're doing the dispute management yourself, right? You're trying to build an operation for that. You're trying to make a better SaaS product, right? It's like make a really great SaaS product, align with strategic partners, right? Once you get to multiple millions, it's like at that point, maybe we start thinking about this or that. But because you've kind of you've worked at this way with these strategic partners, you're able to offer these solutions to them, and that's excellent because now all they're thinking about is like, okay, all I need, if I have the dispute manager, like, doing all this shit for me, then all I have to do is go over here and try to get as many people into the funnel as possible.
Exactly.
Which is like, that's amazing. Like that's ultimately where everyone wants to be in their business, right? If all I had to do was sales, and we would be freaking set.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it works out because people keep paying 97. Now you're part of my ecosystem, and now with additional offers, every day I'm building that know, like, and trust. So now if I have a different offer all of a sudden for Christmas, I might have hey, get this whole bundle of ebooks or whatever it is. Everyone's gonna, or I'm gonna say everyone, but a big portion are gonna buy it just because they've been loving what they've been getting this whole time.
Yeah, that goes to my next question, which is like, obviously, you have these upsells, and you just mentioned that you do some holiday promotions sometimes where you offer stack and do something amazing. Is there like a part of the funnel flow where after they buy the initial thing, they then are going up to and being upsold to something in particular in the funnel, or is it like 15 days after someone's reaching out to them, hey, do you want this freaking sweet ass deal, or how does that work?
Yeah, so right now we do it all like after the fact. So someone actually reaching out to them. And the reason we do that is just to have that personable touch, really. I mean, it would be a lot smarter, like ClickFunnels is known for the one-click upsell. Like you purchase, hey, last time you'll ever see this deal right here, get this certain whatever for like 50% off. And doing it that way. Instead of going about it that way, though, we just kind of have that personal touch. Main reason, I just know so many VAs in the Philippines. So like my team can grow exponentially if I needed to. So if I want to make a big push with websites, okay, I'll hire 2-3 people. Now let's actually be personable, reach out to these folks. Hey, how's it going? I work with so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so. This is what we're offering, so on and so forth.
And are you having them reach out via email or text, or do you have the person who like onboarded them in this like Facebook messaging chat? Are they the ones who are relaying this, or how do you?
Well, so early on, we got them in Discord. So we do a lot of conversations in Discord. We used to do text, but that got pretty pricey. As my customers know too. So, so it just adds up when you start texting people and everything else. So we just do Discord if they're in there. If not, then it is that initial person on Facebook Messenger.
Okay, cool. So at no point, probably other than like the very beginning, are you doing like any type of like demos now before they sign up for the trial, or do they sign up for the trial and that's pretty much it, and you have this video stuff? Okay.
Yeah. So now that's it. In the beginning, I would hop on Zooms. I'd be like, hey, look, here's the system. No. We don't do demos anymore. And honestly, with the trial being $1, that's kind of my thing. Is I'm like, dude, just get in, get into the system, see all of my videos that I recorded step by step, get that feeling of like what it is. And then from there, if you need to hop on a call, well, my team will be there. But usually we don't have too many people now that ask.
Okay, cool. Were there, what do you have seen like when it comes to the upsell from the trial to the paid monthly, in the conversation that the person's having on Facebook with the customer? Are there like any objections that you're seeing? Are there price objections, different things like that?
So there were in the beginning, because we weren't really replacing anyone. We were kind of like this ancillary, like kind of attach us to what you're doing. So you're paying CRC, Credit Repair Cloud, you're paying them $197. If you attach us to them, it'll make your life easier. Or if you're paying so-and-so $300 a month, attach us to them, it'll make it easier. Now we're getting rid of the them. So now it's like, you are paying $300 a month. You could be paying $97 a month and get the exact same thing, but better.
Yeah.
And then that's just kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like a
better offer. You know what I mean?
At that point, the main objection is just people don't like change. Like some people don't like change, so that they would rather just keep paying the 300 because they've been doing it for 2 years. And
it can be hard, when it comes to like, oh, I have to retrain my entire team and it's this whole thing and I don't have time for this.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Yeah, it's just not worth it for them. So
yeah, I get it. So obviously, we've spoken about how you do have this kind of process where when they sign up for the trial, they have this person reach out and all that type of stuff. Is there anything else, maybe even after they purchase, that you're doing in order to facilitate a really great onboarding for them?
Honestly, the best thing that I did was recording videos, what I call the Ninja Accelerator. And like everything I do is like goofy. Like I'm not a serious guy at all. So it's like literally like a panda dressed as a ninja, like running with like flames behind him. So, but it's basically like, dude, I'm not gonna give you any fluff. I'm gonna talk fast. I'm gonna show you click by click, but I'm gonna get you going like quick. Like if you want to watch like a mindset course, I'm not the guy. If you want to just like set up your account in 10 minutes, that's me. Like
I'm that guy.
Yeah, like let's get it going. Like let's get your stuff in here. Let's get your colors, your domain,
Okay.
And boom, you're done.
Do you have like any accountability people on your team or anything that are helping them like make sure that they're getting all the stuff done in the videos?
And that's what we're implementing now, because you can see the progress of someone in the membership area. And when I look back at it, I didn't realize how many people hadn't finished them. I'm just looking at the final, how many people convert to a paid membership. I wasn't really looking to see how many people are actually watching the videos and understanding. But once I realized they weren't, and then I look at my Discord channel and see how many questions there are that were in the videos, I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's change this to, instead of answering a bunch of questions, let's just make sure you watch the videos. Like watch the videos. If you don't understand it, then sure, let's help you out.
Okay. Yeah, I think that'd probably be a really good idea. When it comes to like, so all right, they've been onboarded. Do you have like any kind of check-ins? Obviously, you have this Discord where they can ask questions for support and stuff. Do you have any like kind of check-in process from like a customer manager or like customer success manager who's like touching base with them and seeing like, hey, how are things going? Or do you kind of like, hey, we have the support Discord, you hit us up on there, and that's like our communication? Or do you have are you proactive in any way in touching base with them?
So we're trying to now become more proactive after the fact. So like it is our goal to like every 30 days or so to reach out, see if they need anything. But the past, I would say 6 to 8 months has been like more of a reactive, like, hey, you're in the system, you're using it. If you need us, here we are. If you don't need us, it's basically like we're not even here, which kind of hurt our upsell. So, and that's why we're going to become more active with that follow-up, because if someone doesn't have a website, that customer service rep or that customer success rep will know they haven't purchased a website yet. We need them to purchase a website. And if they haven't, why haven't they? Because our whole adage is ours is better than yours. So like, why haven't you purchased the website yet? Like, what is it? Tell me. So
Yeah. Okay, cool. And I think someone just asked a question in the comments. They asked before we were talking about how you weren't sending the mass text messages through text, right? Or the mass messages through text. You also weren't doing it through email because it's super expensive. What method are you using? Just on Discord, or how are you having people reach out to do the upsells?
Yeah. So it's Discord or Facebook Messenger are the two that we reach out with. Facebook Messenger can be tough, especially if you have VAs in other countries, because there are limits.
Yeah.
So this is when it helps having a decent sized team, because I mean, after this, you can look at my Facebook group, or anyone watching this can go to my Facebook group, and I have a recent post that had like 700 comments. That's almost impossible if you only have like 2 VAs. They can't message 350 each. So it does make it tough, but that's kind of the joy of growing the team and getting all those pieces moving.
All right. Well, I think I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
This has been a really great podcast. I feel like we've covered a lot of really good stuff. Here's my last question for you. Maybe second to last question. I think second to last question. Okay, I'm going to ask you one more after this. What do you feel is the key to success with SaaS and business in general?
Executing. So there's actually a video I watched probably a year ago that shows someone for the SEAL team. And in this video, what he shows is he was the guy that plants the bomb, puts the pin in it, and gets ready to hit the button. And he said pretty much before doing that, he always said, execute, execute, execute. On the third one, all hell broke loose. And it was like, we're accomplishing our mission. And that's what I instill in my team. Because one thing people mess up on, and this is another good piece right here, is ships don't sink because the ship broke. Ships sink because the people in the ship broke. So if the people that are steering the ship, that are maintaining the ship, they go crazy and they're like, you know what, I'm done with this. That's when the ship sinks.
Absolutely.
So a successful business is basically instilling in your team that attitude of like, no matter what, we're going to accomplish this goal. We're all on the same mission. Like, let's keep moving forward. So I think that's like the biggest thing with like being successful in SaaS. When I look in the Go High Level group, anyone that I don't see is successful in SaaS, they're probably doing it by themselves. It's becoming too overwhelming. There's too many hats they're wearing. So yeah, it's really like diversifying, growing teams, and doing it that way.
Okay. The last question for real this time.
Yeah.
There are like 3 pieces of advice or 3 tips maybe that you could kind of boil all this down into to deliver to an entrepreneur who may be watching, who wants to start a SaaS company. What would those 3 tips be?
The biggest tip is going to be know your numbers. So when you're doing offers, if you don't know your numbers, how can you make the number? So know your numbers, know your audience is the next, because if you don't know your audience, no one's going to buy your product. So then it doesn't really matter where your numbers are. So know your audience. And then the third would just be always stay hungry, I guess, is my next one. Always stay hungry, never get complacent. It's hard for me to say that because I just went on a 1-month retirement. Like, so it is kind of interesting that I'm saying that, but basically always stay hungry and keep going. I mean, like we talked about before we started with, it's always tough staying consistent. If it was easy, everyone would do it. So as long as you stay hungry and like every day is a new day, then I believe you'll always be successful.
Devin, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And I know everyone here in the community is going to appreciate it as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and like I said, what I'll even do for your group here is if anyone has any questions on SaaS, feel free to reach out. I'm always available. I can always answer questions because I found a lot of stuff the hard way. So if I can save at least one person a month of headache, then hey, I'm here for it.
Thank you once again, Devin. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.
100%. Bye-bye.